What's happening guys, Gemma here and back again for another video. Apologies for the way I'm dressed. You're getting an even more uglier version of me today. I've just been out in a field with my friend on some dog training, so I'm a little bit haggard, even more so. But we're not here for that, we're here to talk about Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. As I have had some of the best live streams ever here on YouTube, and you guys, we've had some phenomenal audiences in watching. So I'm going to be talking about my views within the game. I'm also going to be reading through some surprising Metacritic reviews, which just blow me away. Some of them are insane. So we're going to be taking a look at that. So stay tuned, sit back, and if you're watching this video live, spice up the chat with the sponsor emojis and loads of comments. So, I think we're going to start with Metacritic. I'm also going to be reading some stuff out from my Facebook group. So let's jump on to Metacritic. So I was surprised that there's quite a few people that don't like this game, because so far I've had a lot of fun with it. More so than the Dark Souls series and Bloodborne. In fact, before we read that, I found that there's actually a lot more atmosphere to it. I really like the kind of shinobi character, Wolf. I love the setting. It is very much like Tenchu meets Dark Souls. They have this nice baby called Sekiro, and it really works for me. But I guess if you're not as much or attracted to Japanese culture, then this might not be the game for you. You might not get the atmosphere that you're looking for. Obviously with Bloodborne, you've got that kind of very dark, damp, Victorian vibe, and then Dark Souls is just this kind of made up medieval-esque twisted kind of world. And I think what FromSoftware have done is made a deliberate effort to separate the Bloodborne game, well, I was going to say series, but Bloodborne from the Souls series actually, because we had Demon Souls, and then now Sekiro, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. However, some people don't. So Metacritic, what are people saying? There's one I read, let me just try and find it. Okay, this is a very long comment, so I'm not going to read it all. I'm going to read you the first paragraph. Dream State 42 rates Sekiro 3 out of 10. First things first, this is not a Dark Souls game. Out there. Like, okay, great, thanks, we know that. This is not a Dark Souls game, so take a step back before buying and think about what it is about Dark Souls that you loved. Sekiro is a great game, but it's not a game every Souls fan should buy blindly because it's a FromSoftware game. Okay, and then he kind of goes on, whatever. That first sentence, it's not a Dark Souls game, it doesn't pertain, Sekiro doesn't pertain to be like a Dark Souls game. Yes, there are similarities, absolutely, it's made from the same developers, the same writer, that, you know, of course there's going to be similarities, but I think if you've played the Dark Souls series and you've played Sekiro, you will notice a difference. For example, I would say right off the bat, within the first couple of hours within the game, you get an ability on your prosthetic that really changes the physics, the dynamism of the game. Like, you can, oh god, everything just opens up the minute you get this ability to be able to just kind of launch onto different pagoda tops. It's kind of like a little bit of Spider-Man in there, I guess. And I think that in itself takes it completely away from Dark Souls. Had you not have had that ability, I think there would have been a lot more Dark Souls in Sekiro. But Sekiro is a game in its own right. It doesn't want to be Dark Souls. It doesn't want to be Bloodborne. There are no similarities in the aesthetics, in the environments, arguably the colour palettes. My brother's texting me. Hello, Scott, if you're watching. So I think that's a little bit of a dumb comment, but nonetheless, it's that person's opinion. I think rating it a 3 out of 10 is a little bit, like, really, dude? It is way better than 3 out of 10. Let's go down to a kind of mediocre, kind of 6 out of 10 here. The VJ says, it's a good game, but not as good as the proper Souls game. just lacks the atmosphere and its combat is a bit too mashy. What? Okay. I get it. It's, you know, atmospherically, it might not be for you. I think I just want to kind of pick that apart. I think out of all of the FromSoftware games, this has a lot of charm and it has a lot of character and it has a lot of immersion. And I think if you embrace those things as a gamer, you're going to feel the atmosphere. And a lot of you good folk, my viewers, my subscribers said that the atmosphere is great on stream. It was one David Lovelock, if you're watching this, my lovely, I remember you saying something about it. And I actually believe that it has a fantastic atmosphere. I think it's great. I think there perhaps could be a little bit more claustrophobia because so far from what I've played, and I'm about 6 hours in, there's a lot of open spaces. You can kind of take things from ground level, mid-level, and then kind of like an upper level. So the verticality is great. I love it. But then again, I was a big fan of Tenchu. So, you know, there's this one area that really reminds me of the first level of Tenchu on the PlayStation 1. And I was just like, oh, I'm so drawn to it. But I think what it does well, and just carrying on from that comment, is where Sekiro may lack claustrophobia, what it does do is when it's nighttime, you can kind of feel that claustrophobia because there are some like narrow alleys, it's very dark, the shadows are very deep, there's lots of foliage. So, you know, as much as you're kind of outside, you can still get that atmosphere from the weather, from the night, from, you know, it honestly, I'm shocked, man. I expected to log on to Metacritic and find nothing but glowing reports. So let me take a look at some of my Facebook comments. So I put this out and I said, you know, only make a comment if you want to be involved in the video. Let's just go on down here. Let me just find it. Where are we? Come on.
A few moments later.
Okay, finally found it. So over on the Facebook group, a lot of people kind of commenting on their thoughts. And Jason Newbury says, I think it looks great, but I feel like the reviews are way overhyped for it. It looks like a basic hack and slasher (brackets Devil May Cry). Nothing we haven't seen before, but I've seen reviews coming in at 10 out of 10 all over the place. It's not a basic hack and slash, and it's definitely not like Devil May Cry. I think there's a lot more skill involved. I think you really need to be, like, for me, I found myself having to be aware of which skill was attached to my prosthetic and which wasn't, because, you know, when you're in some of the boss fights, you need to change them pretty quickly. Also having, like, your potions ready, or sorry, your pellets, your health. I found that kind of juggling the menu whilst live in battle was really added an extra layer of difficulty to the battle mechanics. So I can see where you're coming from, Jason. Mark Wood says it's bloody difficult, it's bloody hard. So Brian Milne says it looks stunning, but being a FromSoftware game puts me off because I'm utter crap at the Soul series. I'll probably get it though. Nostalgic Gamer on Twitter. I would definitely recommend picking it up, Brian, because it is a FromSoftware game, but don't let that put you off. I found Demon Souls very different to Dark Souls. In fact, I found every Dark Souls game different to the one before it. So I think that it's worth picking up. There's something unique, there's something special about it. It's a no-brainer for me. I'm like, yeah, get it. Andrew Barr, I'm struggling to get hyped about it, obviously, and anything except for, I'm struggling to get hyped for anything except for The Last of Us 2. That is going to be amazing. There's some really good stuff. Jason always tunes in. Shout out to Jason. Amazing Gemma was always hyped for this from FromSoftware, but until I end the game, I'm happy to watch you stream it. Awesome. It's a very beautiful game. Sound and design is on point. Completely agree with the sound and design. Level design. You kind of have this feel of it's open world. It does that very well. Great draw distance. I'm playing on a base PS4 because that's what's attached to my stream setup. And I've had no issues. There's a few stutters in battle, but it's very, very minor, and I've only noticed that in one of the battles. Level design, I don't have any complaints. I love the kind of difficult, like the verticality of everything. Now we've got this new ability on the prosthetic arm. I would suggest always going back to the dilapidated temple and search everywhere. Search everywhere. You guys have given me great tips on where to find the axe quite early on, where to get the fire ability quite early on. So had I have just gone in my normal Gemma style and just kind of all guns a-blazing, I wouldn't be half as where I am without you guys. So just get it, give it some time. I'm excited. It's going to be a long series to stream, obviously, because you can battle for 2 hours and go nowhere because you die, you die, you die. But yeah, I'm having so much fun with it. Don't listen to bad reviews, and definitely don't listen to the 10 out of 10 stuff because whatever, just give it a go. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Whether you're on archive or whether you're seeing this live, I appreciate you. Let me know if you've played Sekiro and let me know what console you've played it on. I dare say it's going to be running at top end with a really nice PC. I haven't tried it on the X, so it'd be interesting to see what some of the Xbox camp thinks. And I'm super stoked. I'm excited to see what FromSoftware deliver. I think we'll get a Bloodborne 2. I would love a Bloodborne 2, and I don't think we've seen the end of the Sekiro series, so let's keep it there. We'll end on a cliffhanger. Have a beautiful one, thumb that subscribe button. I will be back on Wednesday with more content. If you like consistency, stick with me. My name is Gemma, take care, see you soon.